Ready? So welcome everybody. Welcome to our call on walk-ins. And it's funny how this call actually came about. We were in the Being You class, and and it was like Dane was constantly talking about, not constantly, that's like a bit of exaggeration. Huh? He was speaking a little bit about walk-ins and original occupants. And so many people who had done the bars, who had done talk to the entities classes, who had done the foundation, they still looked a little confused as to what are walk-ins. And a few of them asked Rekha, a few of them asked Reshma, a few of them asked me that what are these walk-ins? And that's when we said, well, would you like to have a class on walk-ins? Would you like to speak more about walk-ins? Would you like to know more about walk-ins? What is it that you all are really asking about walk-ins that you already know? Everything that doesn't allow you to know, be, perceive, and receive that, will you all destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Yeah, so then that's where the idea popped, and we said, let's do this. Let's bring it out into the world. Let's talk more freely about walk-ins. So for everybody who's here, and for those of you who've never been on a call before with me or who don't know me, I'm Chandana Bawa. Although my name says Rekha Khatwani and Rekha's name says Chandana Bawa, there's been a little switch here. A lot like what happens with walk-ins. So I'm Chandana Bawa, and I am a CF in Delhi and a talk to the entities facilitator also. And yeah, so what is it that all of you would like to know about walk-ins?
So I have a question.
Yes.
So what are walk-ins?
I know the basic. What the hell are walk-ins? We keep talking about this, but what the shit are they? Well, let's just put it this way, that your body, walk-ins had entered the Zoom. Yes, Preeti, they did. So, well, um, our bodies, our beings have the capacity. Okay, it's a physical capacity that we have to allow beings to go through our bodies, to take over our body. And to put it very simply is, when your being has had it and it's like, I'm out of here, I don't want anymore, then there's a being around that takes over your body. Okay, so the original being either quits or becomes or goes to sleep, becomes an original occupant. All right. Now with walk-ins, one thing you all have to get here is that this very conversation is so bizarre. It's just so crazy, and it's just so beyond this reality that you may feel there's a lot of head chatter going on, and there's a lot of but how, but why, just like the rest of access, which really makes no sense. This too sometimes really makes no sense. But it is a capacity that you all have. It is a capacity that we all have. The thing is that, so did that kind of explain it to you, Rekha, about what are walk-ins? The one that walks in is a walk-in.
Okay, so can we say in like a body with multiple beings, and the beings are called walk-ins?
So walk-in is only one. You
Okay.
could have had a lot of walk-ins all your life. But at that moment, there's one walk-in. All the others are the original occupants. Now, in some cases, what starts to show up is that there are so many original occupants, and then there's a walk-in, but you have to recognize. So sometimes when you're sitting with people and you're actually clearing them, there's an energy of you're speaking to somebody, but you're not really speaking with them. It's almost like it's almost like a body sitting there and speaking with you, but you're almost like somebody else is actually talking to you, right? That's because sometimes there are certain entities that are certain beings in your body that are more dominant. The original occupants could be more dominant. You've got, so with walk-ins, the beauty of this, of having more information on walk-ins is that you start to become dominant with your own body, with you. And you start to recognize who and what you really are, and who and what you really are being. Because when there's an original occupant that could have left your body, and then there's a walk-in that comes in, the walk-in does not really remember what happened with the original occupant that left, with the previous being that left. Okay? But it's memories in the bodies, it's memories that people project on you that don't allow you to forget what you were. Is that too much of information?
No.
And everything that is, will you all destroy me?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, off, online shots, boys and beyonds.
Chandana, I have a question here.
Yes, darling.
You just said who don't allow us to forget what the being will be. Means after the walk-ins leave, people have seen us in that state. Do you mean that?
So when everybody has a point of view about what you are and what you have been in the past. And somewhere they've decided that you have to be that because that's what you always were. They've defined you as somebody. They've defined you as something. You have defined yourself as somebody. You have put on an identity of yourself for others around you and for yourself. That identity is a projection that people project on you constantly, which works as a reminder to you what you're supposed to be, which has you still choosing and doing what the previous being did. This is a really huge conversation, guys, which is why I really want to thank you, Rekha, for bringing this up, that, let's have more information about walk-ins out there, because there's so many who really want to get more clarity on that topic. And like all the other, the whole of Talk to the Entities has so much of information about so many different things that it's really difficult to give it all in just a foundation class or just in a Talk to the Entities class. So which is why we have these speciality classes wherein we speak more about whatever topic it is that you're looking towards. Okay, so when you're actually willing to, so I'm just going to run a few. So I'm going to read a little bit out to you actually here. So walk-in is a part of the natural biology of the beings and bodies. It's a natural part. It's a part of the natural biology. So when we are actually making walk-ins so significant, and when we are making them so wrong, and when we are questioning it, not really from the space of consciousness, but when you're questioning it from a space of it's something bad and something wrong, we are actually challenging the natural way, the natural biology, the natural way that your being and body functions. So whenever your being gives up, Whenever your being is like, I've had enough, I'm quitting, or I've had enough, I can't do anymore, there's another being that takes over your body. And this is never done on under pressure. It's always an understanding between two beings and the body. Do you get that? There's actually so much of ease with that kind of a thing. Also, sometimes, like there's so much information that I really will not be able to give you too much information in this call, and I don't want to give you, and I want to be able to give you the information that you can receive right now, so you can have ease around the topic. There are certain times when there's been an oath or a vow with a different being that, hey, till the age of 18 I'm going to have this body, and then you come and take over.
But do we in previous lifetimes?
I didn't get your question, Sukriti.
Ma'am, I asked, do we take vows with the walk-ins in our previous lifetimes, that you come at 17 when I'm 17 and I will say, okay, I'm done with the life, and then you move in my life, move in my body?
What are you aware of?
I just have, choked throat right now while you're talking about the walk-ins.
Yes, darling, yes. Yes, you could have oaths and vows. You could have made certain decisions. You could have made certain conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just give up and say, hey, I'm done, no more. When you come
All
from
right.
when you come from that kind of a space, you're almost like, I don't give a damn, I'm out of here, I've had it with this body, I'm changing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So, I'm pretty aware of the walk-in since kid. So even if I'm like walking anywhere, I pretty get what are they actually looking for. I can hear their voices. But yes, but the thing is, my throat gets choked up. So maybe it's a fear inside me, or what. I know they are looking for help. I haven't done talk to entities class, but I've done foundation. So now I am aware of what are they actually. But my throat gets choked up. So what should I do with that?
So what is that? What is that choke?
I don't know. I'm not aware of. Please change.
What is it for you, darling? What is it? Is it information from the entities that they are there? Is it
Yes.
information? Okay, so is it information that they are wanting to give to you? Is it your body communicating with you, or is it the entities communicating with
I think my body.
you? Okay, so what is your body communicating with you?
That I have capacity to perceive.
So are you willing to perceive it, even if it's a space that's so crazy, so beyond this reality that everybody would judge you for it? Do you have a capacity that you are resisting?
I have the capacity, but I'm consciously not ready for it.
Okay.
And when I resist, it persists. That time I get the throat choke.
Yeah. So you know it. That's the beauty of it, right? You always know, but you always look for validation. That am I right?
Yes, yes.
Darling, what if you didn't have to resist it? What if you didn't have to resist it? What if you are ready for it? What if there is no that time when the bell will ring on your head and it will go, now you're ready for it? What if that's never going to happen?
Then I'll be free.
For it.
Probably I must start saying I am ready.
Probably you are ready. Are you?
All right. Yes.
And your body's happy with that.
Yes, Actually, now I'm feeling so light. Thank you so much for this beautiful awareness.
You're welcome, sweetheart. You're welcome. It's when we deny our awareness. It's when we when we push it
Yeah.
away from us instead of just receiving it, that these kind of physiological and
Channa, you are
psychological
not audible.
symptoms show up. Can nobody hear
Ma'am,
me?
You're not audible enough. Please.
Oh, really? Can no one hear me?
I
Actually, you're
can.
quite clear, Chandana.
Yeah,
No,
it's
no,
quite
you're
clear.
okay.
We can
Yeah.
hear, but you're very, very soft, very low voice.
Really? Can you check? Can you? Okay.
Channa, you're fine actually. Just maybe the speaker you can bring little closer.
All right.
You're,
So can
yeah,
you
you're
all
pretty
also?
fine.
There are lots of people who are saying it's soft, and they are also
Uh,
saying.
Channa, I have a question.
Yes.
How are walk-ins different from entities? How do we know whether this is a walk-in or whether it's an entity that is bothering us, or the awareness that comes?
Darling, a walk-in is you.
Walk-in is me.
Yes. A walk-in is you. An
Very
entity is an
confusing.
entity,
Okay.
right?
So there's nothing to clear about walk-ins. It is us. We are walk-ins.
Walk-in
An
is
entity.
you. It's when you have other entities, or when you have original occupants attached to your body, in your
Hmm.
body,
Hmm.
that
Sorry to interrupt you again, please. It's really, really not like can't hear you properly. Just one or two words I'm able to hear from you. Sorry,
Darling,
dear.
can you, not at all, sweetheart, don't be sorry, but could you just check your end of the call,
Because I can
please?
hear you. I can hear you
Yeah.
very clearly.
Could you please check your volume, love?
Maybe her network. She can check
Yeah,
her
maybe your
network.
network or your volume, please. Yeah, and if you could
Sorry,
just mute
Work my
everybody,
this,
that's a great
but
idea.
your voice is getting.
Okay. So yes, you are the last one in, is the one who wins, is the one who's the walk-in.
Okay.
Okay. So you have original, you may or may not have original occupants,
Hmm.
in the sense of the original, if all the original beings, if all the other beings have left,
Hmm.
then you may or may not have original occupants.
Okay.
But when you have entities, then those are entities.
Entities, I have plenty.
Wow, that's a good
That
question.
that I'm sure of, because they keep playing with my mind. I keep clearing them, but yeah, they refuse to go.
Do they refuse to go, or do you refuse to let them go, love?
I don't know, Channa. I've been trying, and I know trying is the wrong word to use in access, but yeah,
That's fine.
I
So
don't know
what?
what is the value of holding on to them. I really don't know why I'm holding on to them.
Okay, so what do you know that you're refusing to know? That
Uh,
if you truly know it, would have you release them? And let me ask you here, is there something that is working for you with
no,
them?
it's making me miserable.
Okay,
No, no, not at all.
so what do you love about being miserable?
I don't know. I know. I just want to be rid of them. I know my awareness is very strong with them. I try to communicate, but sometimes I'm not clear. As you said, right? We doubt ourselves.
Do you
We
keep
need
your
that.
business hours?
No.
Yet another one who's done her talk to the entities class and not keeping her business hours. Sweetheart, please keep your business hours, love. Really,
Okay.
Amrita, you really want to
Okay.
change anything in your life after doing talk to the entities class, you've got to recognize keeping your business hours is just as important as brushing your teeth every day.
Okay.
I've had people on, who've done talk to the entities classes, and their lives have changed phenomenally
This is
with
one thing
keeping
I haven't
business.
done.
Yes, please keep it, love. Keep it.
Hmm.
I mean, you are going to hear them because are they just trying to reach out to you to have asking you to clear them? When you don't
Yes.
keep your business hours, that's what shows up.
Okay, I'll work
Okay?
on that, and I'm sure that will help. Every day, keep a
Yes.
set timing and do the
Yes.
clearings.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much for
You're,
reminding me that again. Thank you
you're
so much.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So, what else do we have here about walk-ins?
Channa, I have a question here.
Yes, please.
When we are traveling and we are staying in someone else's house, can we have the
Mhm.
business hours there also? Like I'm traveling and I'm staying with someone else, like in their
Okay.
house.
Uh-huh.
Can we have the business hours there also?
Of course.
Okay, anywhere.
Yeah. Anywhere.
Okay, thank
Anywhere.
you very much.
You're
Because I had this confusion in my mind.
Absolutely. They don't
Okay,
care where you are.
yes. And one more question. How do we identify walk-ins from entities?
Wasn't that just the question that was asked before this? Didn't somebody just ask me what's the difference between walk-ins and entities?
Yeah, somebody asked you. Yeah,
Where were you?
I
Did you
was
not
with the,
hear any part of
I,
it?
I was
Indu?
with the customer. I'm in my shop right now.
All right. So what if you could listen to the
Okay, I'll
replay?
listen to the recording
That
later.
would be wonderful. Yes,
Yeah.
sweetheart.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome, darling.
Okay,
Oops.
Chandana,
Yeah.
then what is the
Ritu.
difference between
Hi, sweetheart.
backmack and walk-in?
What is the difference between
Backmack and walk-in.
Beckhamax? Beckhamax is your automatic responder system,
Huh.
right?
Yes.
Beckhamax is where you are operating from all the. So Beckhamax entity, the way I like to explain it, is what a friend of mine shared with me in Hyderabad, Nisha Verma. She said, I like to explain it like a maid who does all your work for you. That's the Beckhamax entity for you. And I loved it the way she said it. So I use that everywhere I go now. And she, yeah, I know you agree with me. Oh, did you hear that little one? He loved it. So it's like when you have a maid that does all your work for you, that's your Beckhamax entity. She's actually in control, but you think you're in control. You get that? You think you're in control, but actually it's a maid who's in control. That's the same thing with your body, guys. So when you have a Beckhamax entity, the automatic responder system is in control. You get
So,
that?
yeah.
So that's a Beckhamax entity.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question from
Yes,
Nivedita.
darling. Sure, go ahead.
So she's asking, is it possible that the original occupant is very young and walk-in is older by age, and while the walk-in has an agenda, it may get hijacked by original occupants' unresolved issues, or there is no walk-in, and me as an individual may be in denial of loss, death, grief, etc.
Okay, so that's like a really long question. I need to. Can you um, rephrase your question here, please? Like as a question, because in your question there are a lot of conclusions, darling. So what if you could ask your question again?
I'll clean one in Napo.
Sorry. Whose question was that, Rekha?
Nivedita.
Okay, so I'm actually going to read her question. Give me a moment. Okay, is it possible that the original occupant is very young and walk-in is older by age, and while the walk-in has an agenda, it may get hijacked by original occupant and unresolved issues? Wow, that sounds like a movie. Or is there no walk-in and me as an individual may be in denial of loss? So what is your question here once again, darling? This is not the question. What is the question that you were really asking to ask? Nivedita? The first part of it, is it possible that the original occupant is very young and the walk-in is older by age? Yeah, sure. The second part, there's another question there. What is that question? Cool. I'll wait for you to ask the question. Do we have any more questions?
Yes, Lena is asking, when a walk-in walks in,
Yeah.
does the original inhabitant always leave, or do you have to clear it?
So that's what original. So when a walk-in walks in and the original occupant doesn't leave, yes, then you could definitely clear it. Do you have to? No, you don't have to do anything. You always have to actually do one thing, which is a question. You have to ask a question. Now, there are in some cases, the original occupants do not leave. Okay, they're just there. So in this conversation, we speak a lot about sleeper entities. We speak a lot about the dominant entities. We speak a lot about the identities. We speak a lot about the definitions that we have created around who we are being. That gives an occupant control over who we truly be. And also, when you have definitions of who you are based on the past, which constantly get projected at you, you are actually working around a space that doesn't allow you to change. And change is the only thing that is real. So most of us are walk-ins. Like I said, it's a very natural phenomenon. Most of us are walk-ins. So it's not even about making the walk-ins wrong or about making it right. It's just about recognizing that if you're truly happy and truly dominant in your reality, guess what? You don't require a walk-in. You don't need to ever give up. That need to give up, that need to quit only shows up when you're not being the dominant entity in your reality. When you are playing an identity and you start to buy that identity. So we clear a lot of, we have a lot of conversation about identity in this class, and we clear a lot of your identities that you put up for the world to see and the world to believe, and all those areas where you actually start to buy them as you. So everything that is, will you all destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool. Any more questions here?
Yes.
Yes.
So clearing all these things will it give us the clarity about what we would like to have in our life, or what we would like our life to be like in maybe after 5 years or 10 years from now?
I cannot hear. I cannot hear anything. What was the question, please?
So like, if we clear all this stuff, so does this give us clarity about our life, about who we are and what we would like to what we would like our life to look like.
Yes, absolutely, Rekha. Absolutely. In fact, there is so much of clarity around all of that. There is, like I said, we clear the identities, we clear the synthetic limitations of consciousness, which is something that we talk about in this call. Which we look at you as an organism of consciousness, and we clear all those spaces and all those areas where you don't allow yourself to be that. It's a it's it's a it's truly a conversation that can change so much that you finally do not have the need to be something that you are not choosing to be. So in this reality, you have to do something and be something constantly. And that's when you define yourself, and that's when you put up those identities. You've got to recognize you as a being did not come alive when you got a body. You were anyway alive. You were anyway there. You just chose a body. What if you don't have to make that body so significant? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you all destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot, on 9 shots, boys and beyonds. So all the identities that you are struggling with, that you have labeled as entities, will you please destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot, on 9 shots, boys and beyonds. How often have you decided that you have entities attached? And you keep trying to clear them, and you keep trying to clear them, and you keep trying to clear them, and you don't reach anywhere but despair. Yep, Nivedita. What if you could clear all the identities? There's so much of conversation here. There's so much that will open up for all of you here, right? About looking at entities from the point of sleeper entities, looking at them from the point of the dominant entities, the multiple entities. Looking at it, like I said, the synthetic limitations of consciousness, which is something that can change so much, so much.
I have again a question, Chandana.
Yes, yes.
Like I said, I have smoke entities always, but whenever I ask them, "Do you want to be clear?" they say no.
You have walk-ins?
I don't think so. I don't have any walk-ins.
What did you say? What do you have? I didn't hear you. That's why I repeated.
Like I told you about my smoke entities, right?
Ah.
Whenever I ask them, "Do you want to be cleared?" they say no.
So we don't. Okay. So where have you decided and concluded that you have to clear every entity, darling?
No, I don't. I don't in my business hours also. Those who do not want to be cleared, I make them stand separate. Those who want to be cleared.
That's fine. That's fine.
The rest have to communicate or give.
That's fine. Let's not speak too much about the business hours here, because there are not too many people who've done the talk to the entities class, and we don't want to confuse the shit out of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, darling. Yes.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
So, ma'am, sometimes I sense sometimes very foul smell, sometimes very rosy smell, all of a sudden. So, are the entities trying to communicate? Because nobody else can smell, and I am the only one saying, "Oh, can you sense the smell?" And they say, "What smell are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So, is it?
Well, those are what are you aware of, gorgeous?
I know there are so many entities. They are looking for help, but sometimes I get so scared. They try to come in my dreams, and they take the long line of entities. They come in my dreams to take
Have you
healings.
done talk to the entities class?
No, no.
So that's probably a class that you could choose. It would change your life.
What will it take for me to host you in Mumbai?
Oh, I would love that. Thank you. Thank you. I would love that. Thank you for that. Yes. What will I
So
do? Yes,
yes,
that class can
that's
actually change. That class can actually change a lot beautifully.
thank you.
There's this, when you have so much of awareness around entities, and when you don't know what to do with that awareness, that's generally how you feel. That's generally how you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, because yeah, no one has really taught us what to do with our awareness.
All right. Sometimes I just think because of there is some rosy smell, so I think okay, maybe some angel is there. I just acknowledge. I say thank you, but with the, I mean, that just pops up. Okay, this is some angel around. But with the foul smells, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. But that's all right. I'm gonna host you soon.
What if till then you can look at every smell as just a smell,
As
as
just a
just
smell.
some form of information, no good and no bad,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I'd never judge them.
Yeah. So yeah,
All right.
thank you for that.
You're welcome. Is it okay
So
if I add you on Facebook so that we can
please, please,
communicate? Yeah.
of course, I would love that. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. So do we have more questions here? Rekha? Anything that's, or are we good? Are we good for the,
Yeah,
for the
Chandana,
yeah, yeah.
I wanted to ask you if the original inhabitant of the body is sleeping. So what
Okay.
happens when she wakes up? What happens? What do you do with her?
That actually goes into so many different spaces that I'm just trying to see what I can give you right now that can, uh, when an original occupant wakes up, when there are these original occupants, can we just ask all the entities to stand back on this call, please? That are just so coming in the way and so disturbing us and all of that. Stand back 4 feet, please. All the entities. Now. Good. So when you actually have these original occupants waking up, that's a body that has multiple original occupants. You could clear them.
Okay.
But you have to always know who you're speaking with. Because in cases of where there are some multiple original occupants, a few of them could be really aggressive.
Okay.
And there is a lot of more information in the class, which is going to be a 3 hours class, which Rekha, I'm going to ask you to, darling, take it on and just give away all the details on the class, please.
Okay. Thanks, Chandana.
You're welcome, darling.
Yeah.
Yes, Rekha, if you can please share the details on the class, love.
Channa, I have a question.
Yeah. Yes.
That we had a walk-in.
Okay, so I'm not really being able to get your question here, darling. So what I'm actually going to ask you all is I'm actually going to share the details with about the class, about the walk-in call that we are doing. Rekha, is it on the 5th?
Yes, Chandana, it's on 5th.
Yeah, it's on the 5th of May.
Yes.
And Rekha, if you can please share the time, darling.
7
7
p.m.
p.m. to 10
I
p.m.
will,
Okay, cool.
I'll
Yeah,
share the details in the chat too.
wonderful. Thank you for that. And yeah, we have a lot more information in that. And for all of you who would like more information on walk-ins, on having ease with just being you. You know, I mean, it's like truly having ease with just being you. Yeah. You can reach out to us and we're going to have, I'm really looking forward to this call. This is going to be my first class that I am doing on walk-ins. And I really wonder what can change for everybody.
Channa, we have a question from Divya.
Yes. Yeah.
She's asking, what is the difference between TTE class and entities done in foundation class? What are business hours?
Oh, there's a lot of difference, love. It's like, well, to begin with, in the foundation class, you have 3 pages or 4 pages. And the Talk to the Entities beginning manual, you have about 45, 50 pages. We speak about all the different entities. We speak about clearing the entities. It's about truly claiming, owning, and acknowledging the capacities that you be, the capacities that you have, the potency that you have. It's truly about being that space and being willing to occupy that space of who you be. It's not about getting more awareness about entities. Yes, of course, you do start to be more aware, but it's more about acknowledging that, hey, I have awareness of entities, but I don't know what to do with it. But now with the tools of Talk to the Entities, I know what to do. So it's about having ease with the awareness that you have. And that awareness sometimes can be so crazy, can be so, it could totally drive you nuts. And when you have the tools of Talk to the Entities, your reality can actually change. Your receiving increases, your being increases. You start to actually recognize what knowing, being, perceiving, and receiving is all about, that we talk so much about in Access. Because that's something that you don't see. That's something that you don't, I mean, you do see, but most of us, you know, we perceive. So it's actually about perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving the entire universe. It's actually about being the consciousness, because consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. It also includes the entity world. And everything that is, will you all destroy and uncreate it all, please? So, right round, good, bad, hot, pop, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds.
So, Chandana, I have a question for this.
Yes, darling.
For this walk-in class,
Yeah.
what would we get? Actually, you've just said also, but maybe for those who have little information about entities. So, what would they come and what would they receive after this call?
Well, I would love to hear from them what they receive. But yes, what
Okay.
changed for me, I would love to share it too.
Yes.
When
Yes.
I actually got the manual, and it's one of our prereqs to do this call with Shannon. And when I did it and I heard it and I went through the manual and I heard it and I heard it and I heard it, and I realized even after we say barriers down, and even after when we say, oh wow, my barriers are so down and I'm so vulnerable and I'm so willing to be vulnerable, yet even that vulnerability is an identity.
Wow.
Even that vulnerability is a definition. So when you're actually willing to clear all of that, which is at a very different level, it's actually, that's when I actually started to receive more of me. And I'm willing to receive. And what changed for me was I was willing to actually receive the judgments with the vulnerability. You know, there was no space of, because for me, the judgments too were a gift. They were facilitating me into choosing something different. And a lot changed. I mean, for me, a lot changed after this call. I really would love to know what changes for people who choose this class, because for everybody it's different. Like, you know, we all get what we get from different classes. But yes, vulnerability is something that you start to, you automatically step into once you give up your identities and definitions of who you're being, based on
Wow.
what people project on you as who you're being, or as what you were in the, like, you know, 5 years back you were this, so you still are that.
This is a yummy invitation.
Thank you for that
Thank you.
question, Ritu. Thank you for that
Yeah.
question.
Chandana,
Thank
can
you so
I
much.
share something?
Yes, my love.
Chandana,
Yes, darling.
after I did the entities class, can I share my experience about it?
Please do.
After I did the, well, life has become very easy after that. You know, before I used to judge myself, judge others, and everything was just judgment, though I had done foundation and everything. Still it was judgment. But now it has become so easy. Everything goes like, oh, okay, fine. It's okay. We don't have to judge it. Like,
Yeah.
and many more things, like when you're doing work, everything has become so easy after your class.
Yeah.
Because I feel I'm very light. I feel light for everything. Walking,
Yes.
talking, doing my work. Everything I feel so light. I just can't explain.
I'm so happy to hear that, Indu, because I do remember when you did the class, your body was in, if I can share here, is it okay if I share here?
Yes, of course you
Yeah.
can.
I do remember your body was
Yeah.
in so much of discomfort with your diabetes and with so much more that you were battling, and the change that came in your body after the class. And when I see you, when I hear you, you sound like you. I don't want to say you sound different, sweetheart.
Thank you.
You sound, yeah, you sound like you.
Thank you.
There's joy in your voice, there's
I'm
joy in
so
your
happy.
body, there's true joy in your smile. And yeah, what else is possible with these beautiful tools of
Thank you
talking
very much.
entities? And
What
I
else is
truly,
possible?
yes, what else is
And
possible?
how does it get any better than this?
I wonder. And I have
Yes.
so much gratitude to Shannon or Hara, who's created the Talk to the Entities, you know, the classes, who's Gary Douglas's
Yes.
daughter, and who also has these calls up on her site. And you know, her calls are three different calls that she does, and the call that I would be doing is going to be a 3 hours long call. And yeah, what else is possible? I truly wonder how many of us will
Yes.
be on that call, changing each other's lives and facilitating each one of us together.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rekha, for coordinating and putting this out. And I know Reshma's not on this call right now, but a big hug to Reshma for doing that too with Rekha, and for Ritu, and for everybody else. And you know who you all are out there. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you, Chandana. You're such a lovely person. I love
Oh, Nisha, thank you, my love. And that's a magical being who shared about a Beckham X entity.
Oops.
Thank you, Chandana. Thank you, Chandana. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Thank you,
gorgeous.
ma'am.
Thank
And
you.
see you in
Thanks, my
Mumbai.
love. Thanks. Bye. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.